Happy Halloween, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year because it's been that long since I filmed a video. Hey guys, it's me, Dreams Out Loud here, and yes, I have not posted a video since last year. Oh, also, I cut my hair. Basically, I filmed a lot of videos over this break, and I didn't feel like any of them were my style. They didn't feel like me, and I tried to edit them, but I just thought they were going to be boring, and I just wasn't interested in them. And if it's a video I'm not interested in, then you guys probably won't be interested in it. I've been really into unsolved mysteries, unsolved crimes, supernatural stuff. I thought, why not start making videos on those?
So I'm just going to go ahead and warn you guys, there's going to be a lot of me looking down at my phone because I have an awful memory and I couldn't remember like any details at all. And there's going to be a lot of kind of choppy cutscenes because I kept like rambling and I couldn't just stay on topic and I kept forgetting a lot of stuff, so bear with the editing and the lack of me looking in the camera because there was also a mirror in front of me and I kept trying to make sure I was in the camera, so
in today's video I'm going to be talking about two unsolved murders where we don't know who the murderers are. Robert Dennis Blair Addams and Sonja Kaye Blair Addams. These two people I'm pretty sure are not related at all, but I just thought it was really cool that they both have a very similar name and they're both unsolved mysteries. So sorry for making a super long intro, let's just hop right into them. So I'm going to start with Sonja Kaye Blair Addams because there's not really many details about her. In June of 1969, a man was picking flowers for his wife when he came across the body of a woman who had been stabbed multiple times, and this was on Pine Mountain 50 feet off of Little Shepherd Trail. So it looked like she had been dead for around 2 or 3 weeks when they found her, and by this point she was a Jane Doe. They didn't know who she was, they couldn't identify her. She was 5'3" and 115 pounds, and she had reddish blonde hair. Oh, and one thing is to mention that the body was so decomposed that the man who was picking flowers that found her couldn't even tell if it was a man or a woman. So since this was in 1969, there was not a lot of the technology that we have now. So after 47 years, this was, I'm pretty sure last year, they found out that the woman was Sonja Kaye Blair Addams. She was 21 when she was killed, and she actually had a 1-year-old that was with her parents, so the 1-year-old's grandparents, I'm pretty sure. Her name was Karen Stipes, yeah. Sorry, I butchered that. And she had actually seen like one of the news reports, saying if anybody has any information about this person, let the police know. And she actually did call the police, and they said, no, that couldn't be. She didn't have any kids, she was too young. It was discovered with technology that was her mother. Her and her husband had divorced in either 1967 or 1968, they're not sure, but no one reported that she was missing in 1969. Like, there was no missing people reports about her. So basically, there's not a lot known in this case. Jane Doe, after 47 years, was discovered to be Sonja Kaye Blair Addams. There's no way to know who killed her. There's no evidence at all, and this one is just, it's very weird. I'm pretty sure if she were to have been found like last month, there would probably be some kind of trace of evidence that the police could trace back to someone. Okay, so sorry there wasn't much in that one, but I just felt like I needed to include it because it is unsolved and they also have a similar name to the next case. Okay, so this case is more known than the last case. It's about a man named Robert Dennis Blair Addams. This case is very bizarre and it's very weird. There is a Reddit user. I'm going to link the Reddit link down in the description because this has been very helpful. It doesn't have all the information that I'm going to talk about, but it has definitely most of the information. So I'm also going to link a video on YouTube here. It's like an hour long and this man really goes into details about it. It's where I got a lot of the information that was not in a lot of the articles that I read, so I'm going to link that down in the description as well. We're just going to call him Blair Addams because that's what a lot of people just called him. So Blair Addams was a foreman at a local construction company And a lot of his friends and a lot of his workers didn't really have any bad things to say about him. He was ultimately a pretty nice guy. He was very optimistic, and he was said to have loved his job. Soon after all this, he started acting very strange. He started to be very paranoid, and he started to have mood swings. He quickly went from someone being very happy and optimistic to someone who was paranoid all the time, and his mom said that he couldn't sleep at night. And so his mom had asked him, what's going on, and he had actually told her, I don't think I should tell you what it is. So that's a little strange. So now we're going to get on to the really weird stuff. So on July 5th, 1996, he went to the bank and he basically took all of his savings out and got a lot of expensive jewelry like diamonds and gold and all this other stuff that he had. There is no exact estimate of how much money he took out because there's been lots of different values that other resources have said, but it is definite that he took out thousands of dollars. 2 days later, on July 7th, he went to the American-Canadian border, and he's Canadian, so he was trying to cross the border, but he was denied crossing because he was being very sketchy. They thought he was a drug dealer because most drug dealers, they take lots of money with them too. And he was alone, and most drug dealers are alone. So that was the end of that. So the next day, on the 8th, he went to his construction company and he quit his job. And like I said earlier, he was said to have loved his job, so this is really strange. So that afternoon he spent $1,600 buying a ticket to Germany, which he ended up not even using because later that day he went to a friend's house, which he wasn't invited to. He just went to his friend's house and asked them for help because he said someone was trying to kill him. So basically he asked for his friend's help to cross the border, and his friend said he couldn't help him. So the next day, on July 9th, he returned his ticket, rented a car, and drove to Seattle, and this way he was able to cross the border. After this, he drove to an airport and left his car at the airport and bought a one-way ticket to DC, Washington. After arriving in Washington, DC on July 10th, he rented a white Toyota and drove to Knoxville. So him going to Knoxville was also really strange because he didn't know anybody in Knoxville. So why would he go to Knoxville? So he arrived at a gas station at 5:30 p.m. and he went into the gas station and told the attendant that he couldn't get his car to work, which is kind of weird because, how could he have driven there if he couldn't get his car to start? So the attendant told him that he had the wrong key, and the key was actually the one that went to the car he had rented earlier but left in Washington. On different articles, it says that he insisted that this was the key, and the attendant kept telling him, no, this is not the key. But there has also been other resources that said that he looked through his pockets and said he couldn't find the key. So we're not sure if he was like, no, this is the key, or looked actually for the key. It's all very confusing, but in the end, he doesn't have the right key for his car. So basically, he's stranded in Knoxville now, and a mechanic decided to take him to a nearby hotel. And so this was basically the last place he was seen alive. So at the hotel, he was acting very nervous. He was pacing around. He walked in the lobby 5 times before finally getting a room. I'll insert a clip right here, just a quick little clip of him acting weird because I have the surveillance footage, so here you go. The weird thing is, after he had booked a room, he didn't even go to his room. He left the hotel, and that is very odd because, usually when you book a room, you go check out the room and hang out for a little bit, and then you leave, to go do whatever you're doing on a vacation. But this was obviously not a vacation. This was the last time he was seen alive. 12 hours later, he was found half a mile away from the hotel. He was found at a motel that was under construction by construction workers. He was half naked, only from the waist down. It says that his pants and his socks had seemed to be removed by someone else, so not himself. And one of the strangest things that was found with him was $4,000 in different currencies. There was German currency, American currency, and Canadian currency. There was a lot of different currencies found with him. Currency. There was also a fanny pack that was found with jewelry, such as, you know, gold and platinum and all this other stuff that he had been carrying around with him. Now, one of the craziest clues that they found near him was the key to the rental car. So the car that he could not find the key to and kept trying to use the key from his car way back in Washington was found with him. Now that's very bizarre. The ultimate cause of death was a blow to his stomach, and I've heard two different things once again from different sources. I've heard that it looked like the blow was caused by some kind of club that had hit him, and I've also heard that the injuries looked like they were caused due to road burn. So he could have either been hit with a club, he could have been dragged out of a car. This whole thing is crazy. They also found hair in his hand, but they have not been able to identify it to anyone. He also had bruises and other stuff on his body that showed that he did show some kind of struggle and was trying to fight whoever was fighting him off. They believe that this all happened around 3:30 a.m. So here's some of the theories as to why he was killed. Police have suspected that there was some kind of robbery involved, which doesn't make sense because they would have taken some of his stuff. Unless it was some kind of failed robbery and he had more on him, they just didn't have time to take everything. They believe that it could have had something to do with drugs because I have read that he was addicted to alcohol and drugs, I'm pretty sure, in the past. I don't think that's true because, again, there is no evidence found to that. And one other thing says that he could have been killed by a prostitute, but there was no evidence to find that he had ever used a prostitute. So basically what I think, and what a lot of the other Reddit users commented on this think, is that someone was actually after him. If he was so normal before all of his mood swings and stuff, I just don't think someone can instantly snap and go crazy. I feel like someone was actually after him. I guess there's really no way of ever knowing unless they can take that hair and find out whose DNA it is, and I really think soon they should do something with that hair because it's probably been a while since they've tried to track the DNA down to someone else. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys have any thoughts or conspiracies about either one of these two cases, then comment them down below. Or if there's any unsolved mysteries or cases you want me to cover, comment them down below. This is just a new type of videos I want to start doing, a new series. I'm really interested in this kind of stuff, and I think I have found my YouTube path. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.